The second of Germany's three parties to lead the next government has just approved a deal to take power. At a special party convention, more than 92% of the delegates of the Liberal Free Democrats, or FDP, said yes to the three-way coalition agreement. The Social Democrats, who will lead the government, approved it yesterday. The Greens will release the results of their member vote tomorrow. Once all three parties give their go-ahead, the German parliament can vote in the new government next week. Here's what FDP leader Christian Lindner said earlier today in voicing his support for the agreement.
I am convinced that this country will profit from this coalition. A new departure is possible in Germany. And we in the Free Democratic Party, we too can only profit from this new responsibility. And that's why, dear party friends, I'm asking you here today to approve this coalition agreement. Let's get started. Germany is waiting for this new departure.
And with me now in the studio is DW correspondent Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber. Benjamin, you were there all day, when they were preparing to vote. Tell us, what does the FDP bring to the policy mix of the new government?
It's a very interesting mix, and for the pro-business FDP party, what's really important is digital infrastructure. When it comes to schools, when it comes to helping make Germany fit for the digital age, that's something they've been pursuing during their election campaign. And that's also where they really have a lot of young voters. When it comes to first-time voters, the FDP and the Greens, so both of the kingmakers of this year's election, they had a very good result there. So they want, on one side, that when it comes to digital infrastructure, but also when it comes to finances. And that's very important because the FDP, the leader that we just heard, Christian Lindner, will be Germany's new finance minister and therefore also in charge of the purse of Germany. And that has an effect not only on the government and on Germany, but also on Europe.
They're in charge of the purse of the government. They're anti-tax and spend. The Greens, who are voting tomorrow, are kind of more spend, let's save the environment. That's a big fault line in the new government, isn't it?
Exactly, and it will not be easy also for them to find agreements. They want to change, all of these parties said that they want to change the status quo after so many years of the Conservative bloc and the Social Democrats being in a government together. But now, of course, the money is not, we need to do something, but where to put this money and where to spend it as well. And of course, one of the top priorities of the government is the COVID-19 pandemic. Yeah. And it's not just the health ministry, but of course, the finance ministry. Where can we spend the money? How can we help business? How can we increase investment? Right. And therefore, the FDP is also pledging to not increase taxes.
Yeah, it's been a big test of their ideas. And do you think the pandemic will, along with the other policy challenges, force the FDP's hand or force it to, I know they've been talking about sort of off-budget purses, we'll create some kind of bond scheme to finance infrastructure. Is that something in the offing?
Well, they have to see how the other parties will also lead when it comes to their ministries and what they want to do. Of course, the situation is difficult and this new government is facing a new crisis. I mean, the incoming government is also playing an important role when it comes to administering booster shots. They created this crisis team with the three parties, so the Greens, the Social Democrats and the FDP also will have a crisis team that will actually help them also when it comes to financing. But of course, the plans that they had during this election campaign might also change due to the current situation where we have overwhelmed hospitals. And of course, the priorities will start there. And what Christian Lindner said today is that it's important not to be disappointed when all the plans and all the ideas that a party has can be implemented immediately.
Yeah, sounds like he's preparing people. I'm not going to gaze into the crystal ball for possible change, but thanks so much for that insight. DW's Benjamin Alvarez-Gruber, who was at the FDP meeting today.